jogarmd, and welcome back to another video on the channel, guys. Today we are going to be covering Nico Paz, some of this specialty training that has been happening earlier in the week, and also some bad news regarding Jude Bellingham. But before we do jump into it all, if you guys can please like, subscribe, it is very much appreciated. I actually do want to apologize for not posting in these past 4 to 5 days. I was dealing with some dangerous incidents that did happen to me and my family, and I just needed time to recover and get my head straight. And I hope you guys, do understand that. I did actually let you guys know that I was dealing with some stuff, on my community post. But with that being said, guys, I also do want to also say that there will be a post-match review with our, opponent that we did play yesterday or earlier today, depending where you are located at, and that will be dropping later today. But I do want to first touch up on Nico Paz because him to Como, well, it's officially done. We did cover this earlier in the week or the past week, and he did get to say his farewell message, after being here in the club for 8 years, and it meant a lot to him. And well, he's just hoping overall that we can cross paths with him once again. And I did say this in previous videos, right? That the board, the scouts, they will be looking at Nico Paz's time at Como, seeing how he develops as a player, how he improves his game, and if they see him fit or the perfect profile, right, for the team in the futures to come, well, they're going to bring him back because we do have a buyback clause. So I would be interested in bringing him back, but we first have to see how he develops because he definitely needs to get game time, right? And now moving on to more news, guys, because we have to talk about mask training because earlier in the week, Pintos did bring back the mask training. They did do this type of, workout sessions in the previous year. And well, the whole point of it all, if you guys are new or aren't familiar with this, is to basically build a training plan because with these mass training, right, you get different results from different players, right? Everyone has their own bodies. And well, this allows, Pintus to work his magic to tailor the workouts to each individual player. And which, well, overall, right, it helps with continuing aerobic work or discontinuing depending where we are at in the season. I think I read something where also Pintos, if the aerobic, workouts aren't needed anymore, they will focus purely on sprinting, running, all that's accelerating, all that sort of stuff. So it's good to see, studying our players just a bit more of what they need, right? And now moving on, guys, we have to talk about Jude Bellingham because he has actually picked up an injury and will be out for 1 month. It had to do with some plantar, injury on his right foot. And apparently, it's not a very common injury, but it just happened to be that it happened to Jude Bellingham. And obviously, he did come out on Instagram and say how much, it was a disappointment to pick up an injury. He doesn't like injuries, right? Obviously. And well, to be out, it just hurts him because he really wants to help the team, but he understands his body. And it does bring some thoughts because even when I did see him versus Mallorca, right, I saw signs of fatigue. There was so much tiredness to him. And is it really now a point where Bellingham is getting too much game time? Because in the previous season, he did play a lot. So I would ask the question, should Bellingham's minutes be managed a bit more in this season, especially with the amount of games we are about to face? And so that is a question that maybe you guys can answer down in the comment section down below. But also, I do want to touch up on Ancelotti's quotes earlier in the week, as this did happen before the game, saying that playing more on the left because there was so many questions about, right, in Mallorca's game that so many of our attacking forwards, right, they were always on the left. And Ancelotti responded, to these questions, and he basically said, right, that we have won 2 Champions League, doing it this way, right, playing on the left, getting our players, and if it worked to get us 2 Champions League, I'm sure that the players are, they're going to figure it out, and it's not going to be entirely a problem, right? And then he was asked questions in terms of the center back, right? Because again, I do reiterate, I would argue that there is very little depth in that center back compartment, But Ancelotti shut those rumors down. He said that in terms of a new center back, right, our market is over. And that's just as a whole, right? We are not going to be recruiting any more players when it comes to that, right? But I also do want to speak about Rodrygo because there was massive controversies in him after him putting out apparently a WhatsApp message on there on that app, and he basically Ancelotti shut down these rumors saying that he spoke to Rodrigo and that he's hasn't told him anything about being unhappy, right? And apparently he's very happy and is doing very well. And for those who are not aware of that WhatsApp message that he put out there, well, this is basically what he said overall, and it had to do basically after the Mallorca game. And he said that, hey guys, yesterday's results wasn't what we wanted. In La Liga, every point makes a difference in the end. I'm happy with the goal and the team's growth. Last week they talked about the trio Bellingham, Mbappe, and Vinny, but they are going to have to add the R for Rodrigo to that acronym. We have the attacking quartet and the rest of the team. Each one has their importance in the games and will show their worth in the various competitions we will compete in. The week will be full of hard work until the next match at the Bernabeu. So now he comes out with this, right? And it was then said that he deleted this message pretty immediately. And now after Ancelotti talking with Rodrigo and Rodrigo telling Ancelotti that he didn't put out those messages, I would argue, is this Rodrigo telling the truth? Because there have been, even right before the Champions League, there was just some words that he came out with, and apparently those shut down. And then over throughout this summer transfer window, we're hearing here and there links to Man City. So is this signs of maybe Rodrigo lying? It seems to be very occurring. But now, guys, we have to move on to Lunin because apart from Rodrigo, right, he is another player that we have doubts about. But Ancelotti today, in the press conference after the game against Valladolid, he said that Lunin will stay at Real Madrid and he will not leave the club. So does that mean that whatever the discussions Ancelotti and the player have had, does that mean that he will have a bigger role? Maybe not this particular season. Maybe he told Lunin, just wait it out one more season because after this season, maybe there can be a much more playing role for you. So that is some questions that I would ask right now. But now, the last news of the day, guys. I do want to talk about Alphonso Davies because this one has gone quiet, right? But it is being said by Guillermo that Real Madrid tried to sign Davies. And this was, obviously under the radar because we haven't really heard about this, but apparently they have tried. But now they're also saying that Real Madrid are considering one final offer this month because right now it's being said that, well, Bayern Munich did not rejected a 30 million bid. So who knows? I don't think Real Madrid are going to go out of their way to get Alphonso Davies. I think next year if they can get him on a free, it is just better, right? With that being said, guys, that concludes all the news that that happened throughout this week. We'll definitely post more on the daily now that I'm over, everything that happened. But what do you guys make of the news, especially when it comes to Lunin and Rodrigo? I would love to hear it all because right now I would say those are two players that you really don't know what you're going to get out from them in terms of out of the pitch matters, right? But with that being said, guys, I hope you guys did enjoy this video. I hope you guys did enjoy your weekend, and please enjoy this week because it is full of life and full of excitement. But with that being said, Hala Madrid y nada más.